We're moving on now to the Superfast Saloons, the RT2000s, the Dunlop-sponsored race. And our commentators there are going to be John Kenny and Brian Chute.
The paddock looking splendid in between the trees here at Phoenix Park as we move towards the grid for the 8-lap RT2000 Saloon cars, the Dunlop Back Championship, which came into being this year with the demise of the Irish Touring Car Championship, a 2-litre ZTEC engine car with a 5-speed gearbox. And this is our grid. 9 cars for the Dunlop RT2000s, and on pole it's John Morris, who won yesterday's race, and by doing so he's on pole today. Pat Donegan is alongside him, Jonathan Taylor behind, and John Keeney on the second row of the grid. The 5-second board has been shown, and they're away under the tricolour on this 8-lap race, and it is John Morris who gets an excellent start and gets away down towards Dublin Crystal Corner. Pat Donegan alongside him. We've got to watch the guy in third place, and also John Whelan's made an excellent start and just dives down the inside to take third place. But he had a disappointing race yesterday at John Whelan. We expected more of him. Today he could be on the pace, Brian. There was an excellent start from him.
And the old friends are at it again, Taylor and Whelan. Taylor in the second of the red cars, Johnny Whelan, as John said. We're going to have a look at it again. Taylor in the third of these cars doesn't get a good start. Donegan closed that door, but Johnny Whelan gets a flyer, comes in outside the white line, just ducks in, and John Keeney is boxed down there, and away we go back down with the leaders.
A good start for Johnny Whelan. In fact, an even better start from him. He's now moved up to second place ahead of Pat Donegan. That was out of our sight as we were watching that replay down into STP corner. He's got an absolute flyer. John Morris, though, has the lead. We're on lap 1 of 8 in this RT2000 race, and Jonathan Taylor has been relegated surprisingly to 4th place behind Pat Donegan, who started on the front row of the grid. But it was a great start from John Whelan, who's now in second place. But of course, with this battle going on for second, third and 4th place between Taylor, you can see in 4th, Donegan in 3rd place, and John Whelan in 2nd. It allows John Morris to pull ahead. He leads at the end of the first lap. 2 cars side by side. Pat Donegan on the inside, John Taylor in the red car on the outside, trying to go around the outside of Donegan. He cannot do so. Donegan's got the inside line. He just gives him a little nudge there and sends him wide up onto the grass, and he does very well to keep it. That was a brave manoeuvre from Taylor, trying to go around the outside.
Whelan was busy that time, because watch now, he's got 2 cars. He knows Taylor is the danger man, very close, but Donegan trying to keep that inside line. But Johnny Whelan should be away at this stage. He shouldn't be at this. We watch them now. Again, he's lost his exhaust. Is that Jonathan Taylor's lost the exhaust, or is it John Whelan? We should know by the rack, but this would affect the power band of these guys as well, because you lose the exhaust, and he's dropping right back into the lap there of Donegan. But Taylor is the danger man, but he's been boxed out. Whelan held it well there through. They're coming through outside the ordnance survey, a tricky left-right, but all this time John Morris, he did it just, and again Whelan having to watch that mirror all the time. We're not sure who lost that. Donegan getting it well out of shape, and Taylor just throwing it in at the corner.
Well, we don't know, as Brian said, which car actually that exhaust fell off, but I put a sneaky suspicion it's Johnny Whelan's. He's had the kind of year, he's had the bad luck following him all season long. And Donegan tries to go down the inside, just locks up the left front wide and down the inside to take second place. That was a brave overtaking manoeuvre. Johnny Whelan relegated now to 3rd place as they go down towards the STP corner, and Taylor up on the grass. That's a dangerous manoeuvre, but he's trying to keep that outside line. It won't be easy to take that 3rd place away from Whelan as they go towards STP corner, but of course he has the wrong line, because the inside line is the right one to have as they head towards STP corner. 2 laps down, we're on lap 3 of 8. Donegan in 2nd place, Taylor in 3rd place.
Whelan just dropping back there. We're not sure, as we said, whose exhaust it is. It could have been Donegan, it sounds out. Taylor at the moment swarming all over the back of Whelan, so it might have been his, but it was just the expansion box at the back, the main exhaust from the engine. He should still be able to hold the power. Whelan in a problem. Let's have a look again. There's Whelan on the outside. Now watch Donegan coming in. Watch for the puff of smoke. He's now at the limit of his brakes, but holds it well, kicks it right, and flicks it into the corner. Whelan could have gained a little advantage there, but lost it.
Well, it's an extraordinary weekend for Pat Donegan. He's on the front row of the grid, and it's also in only his 2nd race, and Johnny Whelan gets it all wrong. The smoke's up the front tyre, but he's able to keep it well. That was an extraordinary manoeuvre, and Taylor lets the back out of the car slip out, and he also keeps that 4th place. But that was an extraordinary moment there for Johnny Whelan.
The two of them are just coming into the corner. I would hazard a guess that Whelan looked over at Taylor. They're really motoring on down that back straight, and you can see in the background a little bit of body work gone loose on Whelan's car, a little bit of contact somewhere. I would guess maybe that's where the exhaust let go, but that is the latest you can go on the brakes. We're going to have a look at that incident. I watched the blue car on the inside. He's locked the wheel now, throws it sideways. Taylor gets away from him, thinks this guy is going to lose it, gathers it all up together and gets it out of the corner. Watch, too much power there from Taylor, and sticks it on the grass. But this is all playing into the hands of the leader. Bits falling off Johnny Whelan's car again. I'd say that's body work.
Yeah. Here's our race leader. It is John Morris coming down to complete lap 4 of 8. We're at half distance, and bits of Johnny Whelan's car is coming off all over the place. So I would be possibly right in assuming that it was his exhaust that fell off earlier on, but Taylor's now swarming all over the back of him. John Taylor's won 6 out of 7 championship rounds so far, and they've raced in Pembury, also at Kirkeston and Bondello Park. This is non-championship round here at the Phoenix Park. We expect better from him. He just goes up on the inside and clips Johnny Whelan. He's all over the back of his car. Well, that's a little bit dangerous driving there. He just tried to nip down the inside to get that inside line. The last couple of laps he's been trying around the outside and had absolutely no joy as Johnny Whelan kept the right line, but Taylor was a little bit of a naughty boy there.
Stuck the nose in a little bit late. Johnny Whelan just left the door open a little bit. We should note that Johnny isn't going to leave it open that far, but all this time Pat Donegan now in the Navanhar car as opposed to David in the Nassar car or the Drogheda car, he's beginning to catch the leader, definitely beginning to catch John Morris in the background there, the red car. Taylor watching left, right, Morris going through, let Donegan go through, another little bit off Whelan's car, smoke beginning to come from that back wheel, a little bit of body work rubbing, late on the brakes, but you can see Taylor wants to get that inside line.
He certainly wants to get the inside line, and his aggressive maneuver has led him to go off the main line and over the white line, and he's got, with that power he has in that RT2000, into third place. They completed 5 laps of 8 now, and up into third place goes Jonathan Taylor. He had one heck of a battle there with John Whelan. A lot of bodywork damage to the back of Johnny Whelan's car. He is now relegated to 4th place. But as you say, up the front, let's have a look once again as he goes down around Dunlop corner.
Inside line, the inside line, because you're thinking the next corner, which is the tight one. Now, going over the white line, I don't think that's a big misdemeanor, but Whelan couldn't get over quick enough, and once he got that inside line, you see that he can pull away from him.
Coming up to the last lap, our leader is John Morris, and he has been in the lead since the very start. He took pole position after yesterday's win. The battle for second place is what's really going on here. Pat Donegan, for so long in second place, is now under threat from Jonathan Taylor. Taylor tries to go around the outside. That is not the place to be. A bit of bodywork missing from the left-hand front of his car after an earlier incident with Johnny Whelan. In the background there, David Donegan just goes a little bit wide. In fact, loses the car, and Johnny Whelan is able to get himself back up to 4th place. But this is the real battle of the race for second. Pat Donegan racing in his first ever weekend in the Ortiz, and what a place to do it at the Phoenix Park. And he's got Jonathan Taylor, the series leader, crawling all over him. He needs to keep to the centre of the road. Taylor just gives him a little nudge to remind that he's there, but he's done very well to keep the car in a straight line. They go around STP corner for the very last time. This is all playing into John Morris's hands. He's won yesterday's race. It looks like he's going to repeat the feat this afternoon, but who's going to win the battle for second place? You can see it in the background as they come down the Rathdown Motor Straight for the very last time and into the Dunlop corner. John Morris leads. Second place is Pat Donegan. Can Donegan hold on and hold off the hard-charging Jonathan Taylor? It looks like he can. Coming up to take the checkered flag and win for the second time at the park this weekend. John Morris wins ahead of Pat Donegan. A distance of 2.31 seconds between Morris and Donegan in second place. Jonathan Taylor took third and John Whelan in fourth. And our result, John Morris wins the second race of the weekend of the Dunlop RT2000s. Second place Pat Donegan ahead of Jonathan Taylor and John Whelan in fourth.
Well, this afternoon at the Phoenix Park, we've got some fabulous racing action from all the local classes, but we've got innovation as well. We have a new proposed racing class, and here to discuss it with me is the man who's proposing it, Michael Clune. Tell us exactly what we have here today.
Well, Declan, we felt there was a gap in the market. There was a need for a car that would maybe develop a bit more spectator interest. So we were aware of these cars racing in England on the ovals, which have saloon car bodies and V8 engines, which obviously would so we've come here today to the Phoenix Park to more or less test the market with a view to seeking approval from Motorsport Ireland to introduce the cars as circuit cars in Ireland.
Well, here's the perfect marketplace for it, and what's the reaction been so far?
Well, the reaction from drivers, spectators and sponsors alike has been spectacular, really. It's been huge interest. The V8 seems to draw its own crowd, and we've got a dozen drivers committed already to take cars, which is far ahead of what we expected to be today. So the reaction has been extremely positive.
Steve Griffin, you've raced just about everything in Irish racing over the years. It looks as if we've got a Mercedes and a BMW here today. What exactly are these machines?
Well, they're based on an American idea, a silhouette formula that looks similar to a Saloon, but it's actually a space frame with a big Chevy V8 engine to give you loads of grunt and hopefully lots of enjoyment.
What sort of power and what sort of speeds are we expecting on the main straight here today?
Well, unfortunately, the car is probably geared just to do 110 miles an hour, but in the specification that it's in at the moment, the gearing is not suitable for the long straights. But it's got massive power, about 350 brake horsepower, and it's quite light, about 950 kilos, lighter than the average road car. So it's very, very enjoyable.
Plenty of grunt, plenty of power. If I wanted to buy one of these machines, how much would I pay?
We're hoping that car sitting on the grid will be £16,000 Irish. So it's a very affordable formula, and we don't have a formula similar to this. So hopefully it'll work out.
Well, best of luck, Stevie, and now back to the action.